Cancer just doesn't care. It doesn't care if you're on your own, part of a middle-class family, a 12-year-old who loves to dance, or a young man embarking on a career. Cancer couldn't care less about the incidental hardships that arise during the course of treatment. But RamStrength does. Dixie, an artist with no immediate family close by, was broadsided by her diagnosis.
The last thing that I ever wanted to worry about was, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bill? I can't work right now. What am I going to do?
You can kind of get lost in your art.
While engaged in the fight to repair her body, everything around her seemed to be breaking down.
I had to have a big tree cut down, an over 100-year-old tree, and that was several $1,000s. My washing machine broke. I mean, it was like, oh my God. And then on top of everything else, I had to have a root canal and a new crown put on.
RamStrength paid for her dental work.
You just feel like you're in a deep, dark hole, and you just don't know how you're ever going to climb out of it. And then you get a phone call. It was like a little light started showing up in my life again. It just really made that kind of a difference, because I really honestly do not know what I would have done had I not had that kind of help. And new beginnings, that's what my life is.
The bottom line is you can never plan for cancer, and even though we're middle class, we're still left with tens of thousands of dollars of bills to have to pay.
As the bills piled up, RamStrength stepped in to reduce some of the mounting pressure for Casey and her family.
During that time, there's a lot of discouragement, and it's really hard to push through that. And so when something like that comes through, it feels like someone cares, and that you're not alone in that, and that there's people out there that are anonymous, and that they're making a huge impact in someone's life, and they have no idea. They have no idea how much that pours into someone.
This is Sierra's last dance recital before she was diagnosed.
Cancer knocked Sierra off the stage.
One day I couldn't point my toe, and I obviously knew how to do that.
She was just 12 years old. Sierra and her family endured 5 straight years of surgeries, 13 of them coming in 1 year.
Sometimes she'd have back-to-back surgeries. They would last 14 hours.
Cancer on her spinal cord was said to be function-threatening as opposed to life-threatening. Treatment for a blood clot in her heart put her in a wheelchair.
I feel like I had one life from when I was born to 12, and then it feels like just a completely different life from 12 to now.
Despite the challenges encountered in the second half of her life, she worked hard and was accepted to Colorado State University. RamStrength gave her a scholarship so she could attend.
Even when you do have good insurance, it's just not enough.
She wants to apply her unique experiences to help kids who have been knocked off their own stage.
When I first came to CSU, I was undeclared. Kind of from the RamStrength scholarship, it kind of turned my mindset into maybe I can make what I've gone through a positive experience. So that kind of led me into the medical field of wanting to be a child life specialist and work with kids in the hospital on more of an emotional, psychological side. Just give them more of, I've been through this, other people have been through this, and so you can get through this.
It just wasn't the money that she was given. They also welcome into the group of RamStrength.
RamStrength events help raise awareness, but they also provide time away from the disease for those impacted by cancer. Tim and his younger brothers were guests of RamStrength at a CSU basketball game. They could use the time off. Cancer took their father when he was just 49 years old.
It's something that you envision or think about maybe in my 50s, my 60s, losing a father at that point. But not when you're 25 and you have 3 younger brothers that are 13, 12, and 7, knowing that he's been their sole provider for their entire lives.
Tim was on a football scholarship and preparing to launch his career. When his dad was diagnosed, he dropped it all and came home to take care of his younger brothers.
Is that the pieces that make up your heart? Thankful that I get to give my brothers a hug and a kiss before I leave, and I get to come home. Best part of my day is coming home, seeing them smile, and asked them what their best part of their day was, and Gabe told me the other day, you're coming home.
RamStrength provided the family with assistance for utilities, insurance, food, and clothing. The financial support came at a critical time.
In the time of need and the time of hurt, there was just such a sense of security that RamStrength did bring us. It did make us feel like we weren't alone, and it made us feel like people did care about us and our situation.
RamStrength provided a bit of stability and comfort during an unsettling time for the family.
I mean, just the sharing of the wealth that you have and the sharing of the knowledge and love more than anything. I feel like that's what we're here for.
I've been an active volunteer for many years, but I want
No one takes the selfless message of sharing to heart more than Kathy Walter, this year's recipient of the Tim Rickett Inspirational Award.
I do love to share my story, but I love to hear other people's stories as well because they inspire me and they give me strength.
Kathy lost her husband to cancer when he was just 36. 16 years later, she received a stage 4 diagnosis of her own.
But you know, cancer brings out the best in people. It really does. I mean, you wouldn't think that, but I mean, I just saw incredible qualities in my husband that I don't think I would have seen if he didn't have cancer. You know, just to look at Tim and know Tim, to be around that spirit, and just the other people that I've met.
None of the bad stopped her from dancing at her son's graduation. She stayed positive, raised 2 children on her own, and inspired countless others by sharing and caring.
When I heard about RamStrength, I thought this is something I really want to be part of because they help local cancer patients. They help different types of cancer patients. I just feel like they're my kind of people. People that empower others, encourage others, serve others, love others. That positivity, being the light to other people.
Her infectious spirit flows throughout the entire RamStrength family.
What RamStrength does is it comes in and it says, hey, not only are we going to help you financially get through this time, but we want to let you know that you are not alone, that this community cares about you and get you through this darkest hour.
When cancer doesn't care, RamStrength does. And sometimes it's all you need.